We are the Ham Troopers, united strong. Through every challenge, we stand where we belong. With laughter and knowledge, our journey unfolds. In the world of ham radio, our story is told.
We are Ham Radio. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's Freddie Mac, your Ham Radio Crusader, and I'm back today with another product review, and this one has got my attention. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, Wouxon Wouxon. I still think the O has something to do with the name. Someday we'll get to the bottom of this. Yes, this is the Wouxon KG-935H. You've seen Jason Johnston over at Ham Radio 2.0 KC5HWB review this recently, and I'm like, hey, I think I need this in my life. So, you know what? I went ahead and ordered one. And inside of this, you get all of this. You get all of this right here. Yes, this is the Wouxon KG-935H over at buy2aradios.com for $149.99. And I thought, man, for a tri-bander, that's a really good price. But will it do GMRS? Of course it will. There's an unlock code you've got to do, but full disclosure, I've already charged it up and I've been playing with it, and I found an interesting feature today I did not even know it came with. So just to cover a few things, house cleaning, this is the Wouxon model KG-935H tri-bander on the back. That's what it says on the back here. 2 meter, 1.25 meter, and 70 centimeter. FCC ID is Whiskey, Victor, Tango, Whiskey, Oscar, Uniform, X-Ray, Uniform, November 22. So there you have it. Google away to your heart's delight. This thing feels like a real radio, but I haven't ever had, this is my first Wouxon that I personally owned, but I've been issued some before in the past for different little operations, and they always felt like something. They always felt like they had a little meat and potatoes to them. So you've got the radio here. I put the belt clip on already. 2 screws. Wasn't that hard. The battery, yes, it is C-type charging right here. You can see that. C-type charging right there, which I'm glad it's facing out the back. That way you can stand the radio up and charge it. Now, if it's in a cradle in a car, it makes it a little more difficult. You have a 90-degree angled C-type USB cable to do that. The capacity is 2,600 milliamp hours at 7.4 volts, 19.24 watt hours. It's a lithium-ion battery pack, and it looks like it's made by Wouxon. At least they branded it, but Neato Mosquito, not a bad battery. It's got weight to it. It makes me feel like it's real. It also comes with this charger cable. It also comes with this charging cable that fits the charging cradle, aka drop charger. It takes 12 volts in. This power supply outputs 12 volts at 1 amp. And it's got a tiny little barrel connector that fits into the charging cradle. And then you've got 2 antennas it comes with. The first one says high gain antenna on it, and it's got Wouxon's brand on the side. Okay, and this one says it's for 2 meters, 70 centimeter. 130 to 170 something, 400 to 500, yada yada. It's a rubber duck-ish. Got a little flex to it. It is an SMA female. It is an SMA female connector. The other antenna gives us nothing as far as an indication of what band it may be for, but the only one left is 1.25 meters, the 220 band, as we so lovingly call it. But here on the side of the antenna, it says U-V antenna, UHF, VHF, so maybe it covers 70 centimeter and 1.25 meters? I don't know, but it's got Wouxon's brand on it as well. It is also, of course, an SMA female connector. Like Jason said, I'm probably going to get an aftermarket tri-band walkie antenna for sure, because this, like I said, this walkie has my attention. And it also comes with the Wouxon monogrammed wrist strap. And you got a customer warranty card here. And I tell you what, I'm going to fill this out and register it with Wouxon and send it in case of any warranty issues. And then you've got a maintenance record you can put on that, or they will put on that. I'm not sure how that goes. But check this out. This is a very thick owner's manual, user's manual. The entire book is in English. It covers every menu item in detail, one of which stuck out at me, and I'm like, oh really? You know, it's like one of those aha moments. Of course, I'm thumbing down through here, and I get to 48, and it says repeater mode. Repeater mode. What's that about? Like 71. And I get to repeater mode, And it says function. Set the type of repeater function when enabled as a cross-band repeater. What? What? Maybe they're just translating Chinese poorly to English. Maybe that's what it is. I've ran into that before. Cross-band repeater requires the KG-935H to be in cross-band repeater mode for this to function. I'm like, okay, see page 85 for more information. Wait, what's this? Direct. The receiving frequency in the primary area is the receiving frequency of the cross-band repeater, and the transmitting frequency is the secondary area. In the secondary area is the transmitting frequency. Well, it took me a little while to figure out the areas they're talking about is the VFO-A, VFO-B. And then you have X, TW, RPT. Both primary and secondary areas are receivers, and the area that receives this signal first will serve as the receiving area, while the other area will operate as the transmitting area. Loosely translated, folks, it's a bidirectional crossband repeater, or it's a crossband repeater. But there's more. You can also listen to the speaker while it's in crossband repeat mode if you want to hear the audio passing through it or not. It's up to you. So let's go up here to page 85, like it said. 85. Well, look at the name of this chapter. Under advanced operation, it is crossband repeat. What? The KG-935H features a crossband repeater. It can be configured either as a directional crossband repeater or a two-way crossband repeater. Bidirectional. There are 4 options in the menu related to configuring the crossband repeat function. Repeater set, page 71. Repeater speaker, page 71. Repeater PTT, page 72. And repeater tone. That repeater tone basically means, do you want me to pass the squelch tail through? To set up crossband repeat, long press menu 4 and 8. So I thought I had to do all 3 of them at once, which they're really close together. I'm arthritic and have big fingers. But no, I hit menu, then 4, and then 8. And it went right to that menu number 48. To enter repeater set function in the system, there are 2 options, X direct repeat and XTW RPT, and that's the explanations of them there. We just covered that. And choose the type of crossband repeat. I mean, there's all kinds of different little features and functions of this, and we're going to get to that here in a minute, but there's some other things I got to tell you. Set the box aside, and we'll put it back together real quick. This thing is like IP65 rated, I want to say. It's not IP67, but it's pretty close. I'm not going to use the wrist strap, but you kind of get the picture. Now, that screen looks washed out to you, right? Well, I'm going to adjust the brightness down so you can see it. You can't see this, but there's a brightness setting for standby and a brightness setting for active. I'll show you that here in a minute. I've brought the screen brightness down so that you can actually see it because the camera will wash it out because this display is pretty stinking awesome. Okay, so you've got VFO-A, VFO-B. Area here, the area button, switches you between the 2. The one that's bigger is the one selected. I just got to say it up front, guys and gals. This radio's full duplex. I mean, it has 2 receivers in it. But if you receive signals on both of these VFOs at the same time, you're hearing both of them. If you're transmitting on this one, you're going to hear on this one if it's receiving. Does that make sense? But I know if I'm not talking on it and both of them receive at the same time, I'm hearing both of them. It's pretty freaking cool. You don't get that much anymore out of a Chinese radio. And that's area button is VFO-A and B. Menu is your menu, exits to exit out of that menu, and mode changes you from a channel display to a frequency display for that channel, because you see channel 1 right up there, or a memory channel label display. There's the channel number right there. This one's called 2-meter calling. Or VFO. The channel number goes away and you're free to adjust your frequency as you see fit. It's just that easy. It took me a second. I figured it out without the manual and Jason's video, but you get the gist. So here's the part I want to show you, and we're going to get into that, but it said to go to menu. So we're going to hit menu, 4, 8, and there's repeater set. So we hit menu. There is our choices, XTW RPT or X direct RPT. DIR. No, it's TWRPT is the actual bidirectional crossband repeater is the one we want. So we're going to hit that and we're back to the menu. Now we can go to repeater speaker off. We want to hear the audio passing through it because this will become a repeater. So we can change that to on or off. Repeater PTT. Do you want to be able to use this PTT button while it's in repeater mode, off or on? I'm leaving it for off for now. So if we go to menu 5.9, that's repeater tone, on or off. The way the manual describes that is Enables or disables the squelch tail sent to the receiving radio at the end of a transmission. Options on or off. Now, this is where you want to be careful. So if this has a squelch tail and your repeater has a squelch tail, most likely they're going to ping pong back and forth. One receives, sets off the other one, squelch tail, sets this one back off, squelch tail, sets the other one back off. Could be an infinite loop, so just be careful with that feature. Okay, so let's just run through the menu real quick. Menu 1 is squelch. This is squelch for the radio. The default setting was 5. I set it down to 3 so that I could hear my distant repeater better. I thought I'd found a flaw with this radio. When I set it down to 3, all was good with the world. So number 2 is transmit power. You get a low, mid, or high. I don't know what those settings are yet. I haven't read the manual all the way through yet. Wide or narrow is menu number 3 if you want to do wideband or narrowband transmissions. And receiving. Theme. This one is my favorite. Check this out, y'all. The theme that you're seeing is not the default. It's like a white background with green accents. So if you hit theme, this one's called BTWR. I don't know what that means. There's one called Candy. If you hit it, the radio kind of reboots and it changes. Oh my gosh. The screen brightness setting as well has an active and an inactive. So if it sits inactive for X amount of seconds, the screen dims even lower to save battery. How about that, y'all? Let's go back to menu. Oh, it went all the way back to the beginning. Theme, Candy. There's a white 2, a black 2, cool, rain, not a Rubicon, sky, BTWR where we were. So we got to just see what not a Rubicon likes for his colors. Oh, that's really orange and black right there with yellow accents. Okay, maybe it's easy to see outside. I don't know. We'll take a look here in a little bit. It's not what I like, but everybody's going to be different. The BTWR, I'm not sure what that stands for, but it's nice and bright outside especially. So let's keep going through the menu. So after theme, you have, this is your bright active. That's the brightness level of this screen while it's active. Brightness standby, which I call it inactive, is very low. And then you have weather alert on or off. Now, I don't know how well this works yet. Haven't got there, but it has it. You've got battery saver. You receive CTCSS or transmit CTCSS, receive DCS, transmit DCS. Your frequency shift, or actually your shift for repeater. So it's either going to be positive, negative, or off. Now here's your frequency offset for that repeater shift. For VHF, it's always 0.6 kilohertz. For UHF, it's always 5 megahertz, just depending on the direction you want to go in. Then you have the backlight, and this set's always on, always off, or you have a certain amount of seconds for that backlight to go off, and it'll go into an inactive mode. So let's set this down to like 2 seconds. And you see how dim it is now? You can customize these dimming levels for standby or active. So if I hit transmit, ooh, nice loudspeaker. Love the squelch crash at the end. It's not too big. So let's fix this back to always on. Okay, so let's move on to scan mode. SECOTO, timeout, and you know the scan modes. It's in the manual. I don't scan that much, but I do occasionally. Now, apparently, there are scan groups. Scan group A, scan group B, priority scan, priority channel, scan add something to the scan list, tone scan. That's for scanning PL tones. Tone save if you want to save those scanned PL tones. Weather notify, we talked about this. Weather, icon only, tone, flash, tone and flash, weather. So options, people. Love this. This is your frequency stepping increments. Roger beep, it has 1. I'm not a big Roger beep person. Timeout timer. I set it for 180 seconds. You can set it up to, well, it may be infinite for all I know. Anyway, you can set a big timeout timer. This is a timeout alarm. So, while you're talking and timing out, let's just look this up. The transmit overtime alarm warns When the transmit overtime timer is about to be exceeded, the red transmit indicator light, top of the radio, flashes to indicate an alarm. The alarm can be set to a maximum time limit of 10 seconds and indicates the amount of time prior to transmit overtime timer expiring that the warning will begin. So the options are off, 1 to 10 seconds. So the default is set at 5. So timeout alarm is set for 3 seconds before the alarm will go off, before you will be done transmitting. So if you need to get 3 or 4 seconds to tell for your radio to tell you to shut up and get off the air, you've talked too long, this is the one you need. Of course, Vox, everybody knows what Vox is, voice operated transmit. Voice is the voice prompt for the menu system. Not terrible, just didn't want it. The beep is these key beeps for all the menu items. This is busy channel lockout, on or off. Voltage for the battery. You don't get to set it, it's just telling you what it is. Battery type. Do you want it to be the icon here? Do you want it to be the voltage? 8.0 volts. Do you want it to be a percentage indicator? Ooh, we're at 93%. That's new. Or just the icon again. So there you have it. Customization is a wonderful thing. Now you've got PF1 short and PF1 long. Programmable function 1, long press, short press. Same with programmable function 2, long press, short press. Now S-mute set, we got to look that up. So menu number 39, S-mute set is secondary area mute setting. Secondary area is the VFO that is not selected. The secondary mute function mutes the speaker on the secondary area when the primary area is used. This prevents conflicting audio sounds and noise from both sides simultaneously when the radio is in dual receive mode. So there is a setting when you're transmitting and the other VFO becomes active, you will hear it. And guess where it's going? Yeah, right over your transmit audio. So it's whatever you want, but full duplex, folks. Satellite users, don't know if you want to use a walkie for making sat contacts, but you can. So secondary area mute testing. And menu 39 is work mode. And your options here are frequency, frequency, channel number, channel frequency, channel name, or frequency. Work mode is something I've never really used that much. Work mode changes the working mode of the radio. This is equivalent by pressing the mode button on the keypad. Options, CH name, frequency, CH number, CH frequency. Default, CH name. CH name is channel mode. Displays the channel name. Example, 2-meter calling. Frequency, so this is your mode. This is where you can set that mode manually. So if you want it to show VFO, you want it to show the channel number, you want it to show the channel name, you want it to show the channel frequency, that's your work mode. Of course, there's where you set the channel name if you want to program it in manually. I haven't figured that part out yet, and I've ordered a programming cable that does not come with the radio. It's about another $16 from buytwowayradios.com, free programming software. So do that. Channel fave. Menu 42 is channel fave. Favorite channel. Select if the current channel should be marked as a favorite. Favorite channels can be activated quickly by using the favorite function. Channels 1 through 3 are favorite channels by default. Your options are on or off. I don't know where the favorite function is. Maybe it is a hotkey you can set. Anyway, so channel fave, and then you've got channel add. So if you want to add a memory channel, you would do that here. You want to delete a memory channel, you do that here. Scrambler, we don't use scramblers in amateur radio, FYI. There's a voice compander. Now, if you ever decided to use a voice compander, the other radio that you're talking to has to have theirs on as well. You're not going to understand each other. It's supposed to improve audio quality, but never really found it to do that much good. Speaker mute. This is the repeater set like we had done before for the crossband repeater. This is one way, this is 2 ways, whichever one you want, but it's not active yet. We have to do something else. Menu 49 is repeater speaker. When this is in crossband repeater mode, acting as a repeater, if you want to hear the audio passing through it, you would enable that menu. And this is the RP PTT if you want to use the PTT button while it's in crossband repeat mode. ANISW. And that's where you set the side tone, I believe. That's menu 53. Determines when DTMF tones transmitted by the radio are heard from the speaker. It can be configured if you want to hear all tones only tones transmitted for radio ID, or only tones other than those transmitted for radio ID. Regardless of the setting, tones are still transmitted over the air and will be heard by other radios. So when you're sending DTMF, I guess this dictates whether you're going to hear it when you're pressing all the buttons, which I've tested. The DTMF works flawlessly. Now this is part of that enables a squelch tone, enables or disables the squelch tail set to the receiving radio at the end of the transmission. So squelch tone on or off. Mine should be off, and it is. Menu 60 is a stopwatch timer, on or off. And I gotta wonder if that's not a PTT timer. We're gonna turn it on. We'll come back to that. Menu 61 is a simultaneous receive. This is my favorite, so you can turn that on or off. Mine is on. I'm getting both receives at the same time, so both VFOs are receiving. You're hearing both simultaneously. 62 is auto lock, automatically locks the keypad after 15 seconds when it's turned on. Power on message, you can select the bitmap, the battery and voltage. The default is the bitmap. I'm hoping the programming software will let me customize that bitmap. 64 is FM memories. It's save up to 20 FM radio stations into memory recall. Default the options are memory and recall, and the default is memory. And then the last one is factory reset. If you're like, hey, I don't know where I made the mistake, you can do a factory reset on the radio, start all over again. PF1 short press. Let's go back here. PF1 short press. You can barely see it. Right here at the top in this little green bar is the FM broadcast frequency. I don't know how you change it. Guess we're gonna have to get into that part, huh? Short press turns it on. Short press turn. Oh, I bet I know. Yeah, I was wrong. We'll get back to that. Long press on PF1 transmits on the B VFO. So long press. That's a nifty. It acts as a second PTT. Short press on PF2. Oh yeah, look at that light, y'all. This sucker is bright too. Long press, monitor, aka open squelch. So now, the part we've all been waiting for. Let's go play with the crossband repeater, huh? Be right back. Here goeth the test. So, the middle radio is our Wouxon. This is our Radtel RT900, video coming soon. It is set, as you can see, to 223.465, simplex. This one is set to 444.350. Boom, boom, boom. So, now that we have our settings where we want them in the radio, how do we put it in crossband repeat mode? We've got a little button down here called TDR. Push and hold it for 2 seconds. This little emblem will show up. At the top in the circular motion, indicating it's in crossband repeat mode. So I'm going to take the 223 radio and talk on it. K85 FMU. And now I'll get the 440. K85. Woo! That's feedback right there. Yeah. Turn the volumes down on everything when you do this, especially if you're trying to film. K85 FMU, testing 1, 2, 3. And you can see the Radtel radio is receiving, and both lights are on the Wouxon. K85 FMU, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to try something a little bit different now. I have the UHF set now on my All-Star node, which is this radio is on. You can tell it's on 444.100 simplex with a tone of 100.0. But my All-Star node has a squelch tail. So kind of give you an idea what's going on. This is the 220. It's on the 220. Put it back into crossband repeat mode. And we'll go test the radios over here. K85 FMU, testing 1, 2, 3. Talking on 223.465 megahertz, crossband repeating over to my All-Star node, 444.100 KD5 FMU. In all fairness, just showing you, this is on 444.100 simplex to tone of 100.0. That was quite a bit, wasn't it? This video kind of ran long, but this radio has a lot of features.
Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. This is the 58176 All-Star Link node in Henrietta, Oklahoma.
And it sounds great. I am just thoroughly impressed. I bought this radio after Ham Radio 2.0, Jason KC5HWB, released a review video about it, and I thought, you know, I've always wanted a Wouxon of my own, or an Wouxon, or a Wouxon, I don't know. But I've always wanted one for myself, and I thought, you know what, this one does 220 at 5 watts. Heck yeah, tri-bander, let's give it a try. The price was right, $149.99, really? That's a really good price for this radio, and then I get it in, and it has crossband repeat. Bi-directional crossband repeat. Thoroughly impressed. All kinds of features. Nice bright screen. Yes, it's too bright for the video right now. I have to turn the brightness down on the radio while it's active so it'll show up on the screen. Otherwise, it's washed out. It looks really good outside. I was very shocked. Having the themes, big help, because you can change the theme. If you're outside, you can change it to a white background. If it's nighttime, you can change the theme to something dark and not be throwing off a bunch of light. So very, very cool. Now, with all that said, this is my new daily driver for the time being here at the house, and I'm taking it with me on little road trips here and there as well. So I've ordered a programming cable from buy2aradios.com. It's like $15.99, something like that, and it's on its way. So when it gets in, we'll do some power tests, and then we'll do some programming video on it. So meanwhile, enjoy what we have so far, and thank you for coming. I hope this video helps you out in some way. It's my goal. That's why I do the videos, and I appreciate all of the support I've been getting from all of you. And please tell your friends, your family, tell the guy that delivers your mail. You know, we call him the postman around here. Maybe that kid that throws a newspaper on your lawn every morning. Let him know about the Ham Radio Crusader YouTube channel. Tell him like, subscribe, come and check us out. Learn about amateur radio in a cool way. So with all of that said, this is Freddie Mac, your Ham Radio Crusader, saying 73s, wishing all the good signals to be yours, and ham on, y'all.